Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm still absolutely buzzing on cloud 9 from Chelsea's 3-1 win against Liverpool. Yesterday, I uploaded a near 50-minute conversation with Josh, the 3 More Points podcast episode. I'll link it down below. Today, we're going to go through the Chelsea news. I've got news for you on Moises Caicedo. Don't worry, it's good news. We're also going to talk about Christopher Nkunku, Jorrel Hato from Ajax, a really interesting potential signing for Chelsea this summer. And then we're also going to talk about the Victor Osimhen alternative potentially for Chelsea in the market in this summer transfer window. First of all, thank you for all the love recently. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Smack a like if you enjoy yourselves today. I am delighted by this piece of news here. This is from Matt Law. Moises Caicedo, next in line for new Chelsea contract with talks expected this summer. Also, how Champions League qualification will trigger player contract clauses. I want to remind you guys about the wage structure at Chelsea Football Club. The whole goal and vision was to bring players in, not pay them the 320, 300, 250 grand a week deals that Chelsea were kind of giving out willy-nilly for quite some time. Players that are younger or obviously not done enough in their careers yet to accept lower wages, and if you do well, that wage is going to go up the way that Cole Palmer's did at the end of last season. A lot of people would say, well, Palmer's only on 150 bags a week now. He deserves a lot more than that. Maybe that is the case. Maybe that will be the undoing and downfall of us moving forward. But Moises Caicedo getting a wage increase? Absolutely. This guy should be one of the highest paid players at the club. I think Caicedo is one of the Chelsea players that we need to protect at all costs, because I don't want to keep seeing a merry-go-round of players. I don't want to see a roundabout of people just jumping off at their exit. I want Chelsea to be that club. I want Chelsea to be the club that top players, if they're already at Chelsea, they don't look at Real Madrid the way that Trent Alexander-Arnold is. And he's at Liverpool right now with the champions. But Trent's looking at Real Madrid being like, I can't say no to that. I want Chelsea, and it might not ever be the case, but I always want Chelsea to be that club for players. And I think Caicedo is of that caliber. He's of that ilk. I think Moises Caicedo is such a great footballer. And whether he's playing at flipping right back, central defensive midfield as a number 8, I don't care. He can do everything. And Josh and I go into great detail on Caicedo in yesterday's podcast episode. So, lots of players, obviously right now, will be not only playing because they've got the self-respect of, you wear the Chelsea shirt, mate, you give everything, right? But these players have also got their own incentives in their individual contracts, where if Chelsea are playing Champions League, the likelihood is they're going to be getting more money. So this is a good thing for us. The fact that now that we have seriously got something to play for, because by the way, Nottingham Forest, I told you they weren't going to win. I know I said they were going to lose 2-1, but they drew 1-1 at Crystal Palace last night. So Chelsea are very much there now. Not there as in it's done, but we're 5th. It's in our hands. We can do this. And if we beat Newcastle at the weekend, oh my word, we're changing this vitamin water, pH water, to something a little bit stronger. Caicedo getting a new deal. I absolutely love it. I'm sure he's going to accept it. No Saudi money, no Real Madrid. Piss off, stay away. Caicedo is ours. The next piece of Chelsea news. The plan has not changed since March. Christopher Nkunku and Chelsea are expected to part ways in the summer. After talks in January with Bayern interested, race open again this summer with Nkunku keen on new transfer. I think there's still a world where Nkunku could end up at Manchester United. I think United might look at it and be like, well, are we going to be able to sign Cunha and an elite striker? All right, maybe not. Maybe we just get 2 10s if Bruno Fernandes goes to Saudi, which is the current story of the day. Christopher Nkunku at Chelsea, he's got more goals than Nicholas Jackson this season. People forget that. But it's never been a recipe that we were kind of just trying to cook with our eyes closed with Nkunku. He was never the right profile, never the right signing. And there's talk at the minute like he's got a knock. He's not going to be back for a couple of weeks. I don't think Nkunku's got any kind of injury, if I'm honest. I just think he doesn't want to play. We could have seen this in flipping January. Nkunku wanted to go to Bayern then, and he's not looked like he's put the effort in ever since. So for me, I kind of feel for him. But at the same time, like, mate, you could have at least played yourself into the shop window. Do you know what I mean? Don't know if you want to punish Chelsea because you feel hard done by, make yourself look rubbish so you don't get the same fees. All of that is me being an idiot. That's probably not the case. And he probably did deserve more respect in the long run. But the fact of the matter is, he weren't good enough when he was playing, even though he's got more goals than Nicholas Jackson. Nkunku to leave, I'm not that bothered. Now, this story is a very interesting one indeed. This is from Sky Sports News. Chelsea is seriously considering move to sign Jorrel Hato from Ajax this summer. This has also been backed up by a very reputable Dutch journalist who was on a podcast. Jorrel Hato. Who is this guy? He's 19 years old. This is where he can play, 1.82 m, currently plays for Ajax. He's a left back predominantly, but can also play in either position in centre back. Current market value is 30 million. Liverpool interested, Arsenal interested. Jorrel Hato, if you've ever seen him play, he is quintessentially everything you would expect from a ball-playing defender who plays for Ajax. He's 19 years old, but he looks like a player that plays significantly above his years. If we also take a look here at his top percentile statistics this season, very rarely gives the ball away. He's in the top 1%, and obviously he's playing in Eredivisie. I'm kind of still a little bit concerned about signings from the Eredivisie, but I think maybe defenders, it actually transitions better. That's a whole video for the More GBFC channel. Linked in the description. We'll go into it in more detail. Touches in the attacking penalty area in the top 8%. Obviously, Ajax are quite often with a lot of possession of the ball. But all in all, this guy is a versatile kind of player. I've watched quite a few videos of him. I'm not going to say that I've spent all year watching him just because there's a new story coming out. I'm not going to lie to you lot. But he looks like a really tidy player. And I think right now, we've obviously got a left-back situation at Chelsea where I've been thinking a lot recently, imagine if something would have happened to Marc Cucurella. We've been very lucky that Cucurella doesn't get injured very often. Touch flipping wood. Because if he did, who do we have at left back? Malo Gusto ain't been fit enough all season. He's always injured as well. We just start Reece James there, would we? And then he would get injured again. Chelsea do need to sign a left back this summer. As much as it might not be the priority, I think Renato Vega, the club are going to look at this and be like, we need to cash in on him because he's profit. And look, I'm at that stage right now where as much as I've criticised a lot about the ownership, a lot about only buying young players, the results on the pitch right now are very good. And there are certain youngsters that I don't think you turn your nose up at. And I think Jorrel Hato could be one of those. Left back, can play centre back, very strong, big player. I think he's really good. And I think this summer, the key thing is about sprinkling salt and pepper. Chelsea, I think we've got some great players. We need some experience, particularly either an elite top-level goalkeeper at that end of the pitch and a Victor Osimhen or someone of a top level up front. I don't want us to sign another striker that's just going to be a player that needs time. Just going to be a player that needs to figure out who he is on the pitch, the way that Jackson is. I still think Jackson's figuring it out. Jorrel Hato, though, Cucurella, brilliant. One of the most experienced players in the squad. He's the number one left back. If Hato comes in, I think he can give some great competition to Cucurella. We also need to remember that if we do get Champions League football, there's going to be serious strain on this squad. So we are going to need strength in depth across all areas of the field. And I don't see there being any depth in that left-back position. Chilwell went, Vega went, Gusto ain't a left-back, he's always injured, and James isn't a left-back either. So we do need to sign a left-back this summer. Let me know your thoughts on Jorrel Hato in the comments down below. I think if it's ideal for me, I'd love to have an experienced player who's either been playing with this team for a long time or is a bit older in the first team. And then if you've got Cucurella with a 19-year-old who's solid from Ajax coming in, that's great for me. I'm not saying no youngsters, because there are a lot of good ones available. Dean Howson, we've been linked with him every flipping day in the centre-back position, but he's class. Do you know what I mean? It's the players that we buy that still aren't proven at anything, haven't done anything yet. That's the ones that I've got an issue with. Hato, I think he's a really solid player. Left back too. Let's see what happens with this one. The next story, and the final story of today's Chelsea news video. Chelsea are prepared to meet Aston Villa's 60 million asking price for Ollie Watkins if they fail to secure Victor Osimhen this summer. The Blues have already approached Villa about the striker. Ollie Watkins, I've looked at Ollie Watkins this season and thought, I don't really think he's having the best season. I think after such a solid display for England in the Euros last summer, scoring that goal in the semi-final, never going to forget it. I like Ollie Watkins, great player, great numbers this season too. If you look here, 32 games, 15 goals, 7 assists. Why do I think he's not had a good season? I think this is just the eye test telling me this, but these numbers are excellent. 1 goal, 4 assists. Also in the Champions League. Also recency bias comes in here because if Unai Emery has not been playing him as often, my mentality would be if he ain't good enough for Villa, why is he good enough for Chelsea? Do you know what I mean? But Ollie Watkins, 29 years old. He is experienced. He's been in the Premier League scoring goals now for a very long time. This could be a decent move for Chelsea. If we look at the top percentile stats, in the top 3% for assists, progressive carries, he can dribble with the ball, and interceptions, touches in the penalty area. Like, he's a solid striker, Ollie Watkins. And I think Chelsea, when it comes to my pecking order, I don't need to say it. If you've been watching the channel recently, we've got a borderline obsession with Victor Osimhen. I really want him at Chelsea. If we've left it too late there, if that isn't possible, I would prefer Ollie Watkins over a Benjamin Sesko. I would also prefer Ollie Watkins, who's a Premier League proven goal scorer, over a lot of other maybe strikers. So, Ollie Watkins to Chelsea. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. For me, it's all about Big Victor. I want Chelsea to sign him. Liam Delap, we've kind of seen it quieten down a little bit with that one. But Chelsea will be looking to get a lot of their signings done before the Club World Cup, which as that gets closer, we're going to start previewing that a bit more on GBFC. I'm hoping to be in America for the Club World Cup. Whether we'll get to any matches, I'm not sure. But I'm excited for it. It's a competition we can win. It's a competition where we could win a hell of a lot of money. And right now, Chelsea's current Premier League form, we're doing all right. We've won 3 in a row. Teams are dropping points around us. Newcastle drawing. Forest drawing at the weekend. I'm excited for the end of this season. Stay tuned here on the channel. We've got your Gordon on Thursday, so the preview for that will either be out tomorrow or it'll be news and the preview will be on the match day or whatever. But thanks for all the support. Let me know your thoughts on all of today's stories in the comments down below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.